morning everyone. Hello students, welcome again to my computer period, that is your computer class. In today's class we are going to discuss some higher order thinking skill questions, that is some HOTS questions. Okay, so normally we have you might have already seen the videos which were uploaded earlier, in which I had already explained all the different parts or all the different sessions of the 6th chapter, that is our unit 6, fundamentals of computers. In some of your textbooks this chapter is also visible in the form of introduction to IT or ITES industries. So today we are going, as part of your revision session, we are going to take up the 4 HOTS questions, that is 4 higher order thinking skill questions from the chapter. So I have taken the HOTS questions from page number 120 given in my book. In your books it could be different. These HOTS questions you will find in the solved HOTS questions section, in the solved question sections of your chapter 6. Okay, so out of that I am going to take up question number 5, 6, 7 and 8. So here you can see question number 5. And we are going to start with question number 5, discussion. I will be explaining, although the answers are already given in the book, but I will be explaining to you how these questions are to be solved. Students, HOTS questions means they are higher order thinking skill questions. That is, these questions require a lot of insight into the question. Firstly, they are not direct questions. Secondly, they are not theory questions. Okay, they are just there to test your knowledge, to test the concept, whether the concept which you have learned in the chapter, whether that concept is clear or not. You are given a real world problem, and that problem you need to solve using the concepts which you have already learned. So we are going to see the first question over here. I am reading out the question. The following 5 sentences are mismatched. All you have to do is to match them correctly. So these 5 sentences, they are mismatched along with these phrases which you can see over here. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to match these topics with the correct description. Okay. So let us start doing this. It is a simple match the column question. So the very first thing which we are going to see over here is the input unit. What is an input unit? We already know that input unit is something which takes in some input. So we will start analyzing from the very first one. Is a tower shaped cabinet? No. Is also known as a storage unit? No. Obtains the data entered by the user? Yes. So this is how it is going to be matched. Or alternatively, you can also write its number, that is A at the end. Second is CPU. Is a tower shaped cabinet? It could be, but we are first going to consider all the possible options. Is also known as storage unit? No. This has already been taken, so we are going to skip this. Is the brain of the computer? Yes, it could be. Provides the result in human readable format. Now there is certain ambiguity in these 3, 1, 4 and 5. So for solving such kind of confusions, what we can do is we can move to the other options. So we will take the third one, external memory. Is a tower shaped cabinet? No. Is also known as a storage unit? Yes, it could be. This has been skipped. Brain of the computer? No. Provides result? No. So we are getting a direct match for external memory. that is this one, and we can write C over here. Next is the output unit. Is a tower shaped cabinet? No. These two have already been matched, so we'll skip that. Is the brain? No. Provides the result in human readable format? Yes. So output unit is the unit which provides the actual result in the human readable format. So we will match this with this, and it is D. Next is the system unit. Now what is the system unit? We have two different options here. We had left CPU, so we will be considering CPU and the system unit. So now over here there is a difference. System unit means the entire big box which you see, which normally we say it is the CPU. It has a power button, and that power button is used for switching on the CPU box or the system unit. Whereas your CPU is just a small microprocessor chip which is fit onto your motherboard. So this is the CPU, whereas this is your system unit. So CPU is the brain of the computer, and the system unit is a tower shaped cabinet. So this is how you have to analyze each and every option and match it with the correct answer. Let's move on to our next question. Now the next question, that is your sixth question. The sixth question is, in the following figure, provide the names of any 6 domains of computer applications. So now in your textbook you will find a figure, but what I have done is, though that figure only contains some blank spaces, and in those blank spaces you have to provide the names of any 6 areas where computers are applicable, okay, where computers are being used extensively. So let us try this out. A we can take as education. That is, education means it is being used in the form of digital classrooms. Okay, right now the online education which is going on, how is it made possible? That is made possible with the help of computers and any kind of technology involved in computer science. Next is governance. The government of the country also uses your computers extensively for performing all the varied type of operations, like for managing the census information. You might have heard about what is census, that is population. A record of population. That is, what is the population of a particular region, and in this way data is collected on a regular basis, and this data, this excess data is analyzed and this is processed. Okay. Next is, we can take film and television, also you can say entertainment industry. Computers are being extensively used in entertainment, and this is a known fact, we already know that. How you might have seen all the different computer graphics, CGI effects. So CGI are computer graphics graphical effects which are given, or visual effects which are given to any video. Okay, all the special effects which you see, if suppose you are watching any movie like Avatar, you might have seen that movie Avatar. I'll write its name here. They made use of a technology known as motion sensing technology. In motion sensing technology, actually actors work in an enclosed studio, and they wear a special type of a suit which is sensitive to a very slight movement also. So that suit has sensors all over it. So when actors wear the suit, they will have sensors touching every point on their body, and also they have a kind of a helmet which has a device which emits small laser points or laser beams on their entire face. That is to capture the facial movements. Okay, movement of the facial muscles when they are laughing, when they are angry, when they are over emotional. Okay, when they are shouting at someone, yelling at someone, when they are sad. So all these types of emotions are caught by motion sensing technology, and using that only they have created that entire Pandora scene which you see, the whole ambience of an alien planet, not a planet but an alien moon which you see in that movie, that was all created using computer graphics, and the actors were also made to impersonate alien creatures by means of motion sensing technology. So it is the actors who are actually working in the closed environment, whereas all their movements are getting captured and they are being converted into the imaginary character which they are playing. And when you look at the face of the character, it also looks almost the same as the original actor. Okay. So these are a few things. Let's try out some other application areas. So we have seen education, we have seen governance, we have seen film and television, that is entertainment industry. We cannot forget this very important part, that is medicine. Okay. When we talk about medicine, all different types like surgeries, treatment, diagnosis of diseases, all these techniques are involved. Whether it is surgery being performed, okay, whether it is the treatment of any disease like cancer, whether it is diagnosis of complicated diseases, everywhere computers are being used. We have a lot many different devices which are available, which allow the doctors to get a better insight into your body and to make you understand what is exactly happening. Okay, so medicine also uses these features. My answers could be different from those given in the books, and same way I also expect that you don't stick to your textbook for such type of questions, because here you can have n number of possibilities. Okay, your book might have a few chosen fields or domains listed, but what you have to do is you have to use your own brain and your own thinking in answering these questions. So don't just stick to your textbook, but if you have already studied the chapter and if you are already well aware about your environment, you can very well write your own answers also over here. Provided it is correct, marks would definitely be given to you. Now we have two more areas left over here. Defense. It is used extensively in defense also. You might have heard about, there are various softwares which are available which allow the army personnel to scout a particular area and to keep an eye or keep a watch on whether that area is being already under the eyes of any drone from the enemy region, okay, or also calculating the trajectory of missiles, where the missiles will be dropped at a particular area. So all these type of things are also done by the military. Then last one and my favorite, astronomical research. Although it will fall under scientific research also, but I am choosing this because it's my one of my personal favorite areas, that is astronomical research. So here also in astronomical research they make use of supercomputers for process the large amount of data which is collected. If you remember, we had a very recent event last year where ESO, European Space Organization, ESO discovered the real image, the very first real image of a black hole, or we can say a supermassive black hole in a very distant galaxy, Messier 87. So this supermassive black hole, its real image was captured by very large telescopes of ESO, that is European Space Organization, and this was actually a series of radio telescopes which covered the curvature of the Earth. So it is not just one telescope which is at one area, but multiple telescopes which are installed at several places on the Earth, and they all are connected together to form a very large telescope. And this large telescope is used to capture together a radio image of the Messier 87 M87 supermassive black hole. Not only this, but there is a supermassive black hole at the center of our Milky Way galaxy also, that has also been discovered using supercomputers, where scientists were analyzing the data with the help of computers for 26 years. They have analyzed the data for 26 years and they discovered a supermassive black hole at the center of our Milky Way named Sagittarius A star. So how is this possible? They studied the movements of the stars which seem to be circling an imaginary object over here. As we know that black hole is something which cannot be seen, because nothing escapes a black hole, not even light. So this black hole cannot be seen. How can we understand that there is a black hole there? By the movement of stars around it. And so scientists, with the help of these computers and computer softwares, they located as well as they observed this black hole for 26 years. And what they observed? They observed the motion of these stars around this black hole. And that is what gave them the idea that there might be some heavy object at the center of it, and that is the supermassive black hole. So this is how you can easily figure out which all are the different types or the different domains where computers could be used. Yes, students. So the next question is question number 7, as you can see here. Identify the type of computer used in office and homes, washing machines and televisions, trains and airplanes, meteorological departments. Okay. So office and homes, which type of computers do we use? We make use of desktop computers, which are basically known as PCs or personal computers. We make use of laptops. We make use of smartphones, because smartphones are also a type of computers, etc. Washing machines and televisions. Which type of computers do we use here? In washing machines, we make use of special computers known as embedded computers. In a short while, I'll explain you what are embedded computers. Trains and aeroplanes, okay, or airplanes also we can say. What do we use? Smartphones, PDA, that is personal digital assistants, palm top computers. And last of all, meteorological departments. Meteorological departments are those departments which are generally engaged in weather forecasting, okay, the weather department. So they basically make use of supercomputers, because the amount of data collected from a particular region referring to the weather of a particular region, that is huge. So that huge data cannot be processed by the normal personal computers. We need more than one processors for doing that work, and only supercomputers are such. Supercomputers and mainframe computers are those computers which have more than one processors. Okay, mainframe computers are basically used by private organizations, that is large companies, whereas supercomputers are owned and financed by the government of the country together with any public sector enterprise, that is a government owned enterprise. And because meteorological departments are government, they fall under the public sector, that is under the government only, hence they use supercomputers for forecasting weather. Now talking about embedded computers, students, let us understand what are embedded computers. Embedded computers, you have already crossed paths with embedded computers. Where have you crossed paths with them? When you use your washing machine, when you use your set-top box, when you make use of your modem, air conditioners, that is ACs, TV remote, your microwave oven, and all the different consumer durable appliances, okay, all the electronic appliances which you use, they are made up of embedded computers. Embedded computers are actually computers on a chip, or we can say CPU on a single chip. You have a printed circuit board, known as a PCB, and on this circuit board you have a microcontroller chip. This microcontroller chip is actually the brain of this computer, and it manages and controls the entire task of your device. Program is already embedded on this computer. The program which will make the device work, all the instructions are already embedded onto that microcontroller chip, which manages and controls these devices. Now why is it so? Why we cannot make changes in this program is because the task of these devices is already fixed by the manufacturer. and we as simple users, we don't know how to program such devices, hence we cannot make any changes over here. If we accidentally make any change, what will happen? It might be possible that because of those changes the device won't work in future. So that is why we cannot make any changes. These are pre-programmed devices and they are also small computers which are managing these devices. Yes, our last question is question number 8. I am reading out the question. The convergence of two or more technologies results in the emergence of a new technology. In the following sentences, you are given the combination of two technologies. You have to identify the name of the emerging technology from the given options to which these existing technologies will converge to. So, you have to identify the emerging technology from these combinations. So what are the combinations? Let us see. IT plus CT, that is information technology plus communication technology, which will form ICT, information and communication technology. Information and communication technology. Talking about ICT, students, basically when we say information technology, it refers to our computers, the subject which we are studying, okay. And communication technology includes all the features of a network which allows computers to communicate with each other. Network, our internet, all these things come under communication technology. So when we combine IT and CT, they will form information and communication technology. Coming to the next, IT plus biotechnology, it will form a new area named as bioinformatics. Now what is bioinformatics? It is a combination of the following areas. You can see here, I am going to write it. It is a combination of biology, information engineering, mathematics, statistics, and computer science. It is a combination of all these: biology, information engineering, mathematics, statistics and computer science. And basically it is used for performing statistical and mathematical analysis on the biological data. Okay, for example, nowadays as this pandemic is going on, so lot of research is being taking place because researchers all over the world, they are trying to find a vaccine which will be a cure for coronavirus, okay, for COVID-19. And for that purpose only, bioinformatics is being used extensively in not only studying or finding the cure, but also in analyzing the data which is being collected on an everyday basis, like what is the recovery rate of people, or how many people, how often are people susceptible to such infections, okay, and how much is the resistance of a particular individual against the virus. So all these things are analyzed using bioinformatics. Next is ICT plus nanotechnology. It gives us material convergence. Information and communication technology we already know. What is nanotechnology? Students, nanotechnology is the study of creating new material, building new materials at the atomic and molecular level. At the atomic and molecular level. What do you understand by nano? When we say nanometer, 1 nanometer is equal to 1 billionth of a meter or of 1 meter. 1 human hair, it is equals to 80,000, its diameter is equal to 80,000 nanometer. If we consider this as the cross section of a human hair, its diameter is 80,000 nanometers. So you can understand how going at the level of atoms and molecules creating such things. So material convergence. What is material convergence? When I combine nanotechnology with ICT, this can prove very helpful in disaster management. By supplying various types of devices and materials which will be used in disaster management. Okay, normally for creating sturdy houses in areas which are mostly affected by category 5 hurricanes and typhoons and all these things, to create large buildings which can withstand any of these natural calamities, we make use of material convergence. And also this is heavily used in disaster management where there is floods, where there is any kind of tsunami, any earthquake or anything, where government agencies are non-NGOs, okay, non-profitable organizations, then community, local community of people, and other agencies, other relief agencies, they also work together for this purpose. Next is material convergence plus biotechnology, which will give us intelligent bioscience. Now what is intelligent bioscience? When we say intelligent bioscience, it means now the future is this. That is, nano robots will be inserted into our body for performing any type of surgery. So they would perform a surgery like remove the blockage of the heart, of the arteries, and automatically they will get dissolved because they are biological devices. They are biological robots or bots which are made out of DNA. The protein used for DNA, they are made out of DNA, and hence they would directly be mixed with our bloodstream, and hence it would result into painless surgeries. Understood? So this is how you can see all the different convergence where two or more technologies converge, they merge together to give rise to a third type of technology. So here with this we conclude today's session where we have discussed 4 HOTS questions. Meet you again in the next class. Thank you everyone.